Hi, my name is Amos White, and I'm the middle school division lead teacher at the Colorado Springs School. Thank you for tuning in to this screencast on our middle school entitled On the Road to Discovery. I'm going to switch over now to a screen view so I can pull up my slides here. Now, most of us, when we think back on our middle school years, oftentimes we don't have great memories of that time. Middle school can be a difficult transition period between the stability and security of elementary school to the independence of high school. During this time, there are awkward physical changes and, of course, the strong emotions that go with this. And this can make it difficult for kids. Here at CSS, we love this age group, and our philosophy is that this period is an extremely important time for students to discover who they are, what they're good at, what they like, and how this all fits together with interacting positively with others and learning to take responsibility for their lives and actions. Now, as you consider choices for middle school, there are lots of options in the city, but we believe we have a great middle school program here at CSS that is unrivaled in the region. And today I'm going to share with you some of the things that set us apart from other options you may have. First of all, there is really strong faculty support and mentorship for students as they come to CSS. As kids face the changes of the middle school years, they need guides to help them navigate new challenges. And so when they arrive in 6th grade, students are assigned an advisor, or if they're a new 7th and 8th grader, they get an advisor when they come. And that advisor stays with them throughout their middle school years. And an advisor typically has 8 to 12 middle school students as in their advisory group. And this group kind of becomes the home away from home at school, because the advisor meets with them 2 days a week for 45 minutes and checks in with them regularly about their social, emotional growth and academic growth as well, and interacts with them in ways that allow them to really get to know them well. From, as you can see in the upper left-hand picture, Mr. Tucker being really goofy for a group picture with his advisees, to Miss Beardsley there in the upper right, working with her students to prepare meals on Seminar 1, to the lower left with Mrs. Johnston with her advisees doing trail restoration work in Garden of the Gods with Rocky Mountain Field Institute on a service learning day. And in the bottom right-hand corner, Mr. Biederman there overseeing some silly and very fun games that build community amongst our students. So our faculty really gets to know the kids really well, and that's one of the number one differentiators for our school, is this sense of community that we have. There's also a lot of attention to leadership and supportive peer relationships. We have a lot of happy kids at CSS, and this doesn't happen by accident. We really work on equipping students with the skills they're going to need to interact positively. A big part of this is developing social and emotional intelligence in the kids. And we have adopted our own version of the Ruler program, a research-based program developed by Yale that teaches kids social emotional intelligence skills. Things like being able to recognize emotions in themselves and others, understand the causes of them, to develop a vocabulary where they can effectively label what they're feeling, and then to give them skills to be able to evaluate, are those emotions being expressed appropriately in any given situation? And then depending on the answer to that question, we actually teach and have kids practice emotional regulation strategies as well that will be helpful for them not just now but later in life as well. And there's a lot of research out there that students who are taught social emotional intelligence skills have been found to have less anxiety and depression, to be less likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. They're less aggressive and less likely to bully others. They perform better academically, have greater leadership skills, and are more attentive and less hyperactive in school. Another component of our advisory program that kind of develops positive peer relationships is some of the character training that we do in advisory. And oftentimes, this is dictated by whatever the kids happen to be needing at that particular time. So we have that flexibility, but we also have grade level specific themes. And sixth grade, there's a lot of work done with them in helping them learn to take care of themselves. They want greater independence, but they oftentimes lack the skills to do that. And so teaching them to manage their time, their stress, their eating habits, exercise, and learning study and organizational skills as well is really important for them. And then in seventh grade, we transition to a theme where we teach them to learn to take care of and think about others. So as they have practiced taking care of themselves, then they're better equipped to then think about taking care of others. And then in eighth grade, they really focus on learning to be leaders in this effort to take care of others in the CSS community and beyond. Students are also taught through our program to take responsibility for their actions. Respecting others is not always easy, and so sometimes kids make mistakes. And we believe it's not enough to just hold kids accountable for appropriate behavior. We do certainly, but we believe they must also be taught conflict resolution skills. And so when problems arise, our teachers and advisors mediate conflict with students and help coach them through this process so that they'll develop the conflict resolution skills they're going to need to be successful later on in life. Students also take responsibility for their actions and their performance in school through student-led conferences. At conference times, parents actually meet with the advisor. Teachers, academic teachers, parents are always able to access them and email and call them. But we have the conferences with the advisor, with the student there, and the student takes the advisor and the family through their evaluation, their self-evaluation of their performance. And the focus is on the student. What did they do? And then after they have received feedback from the advisor, which has been collected from academic teachers, then the student, with the guidance of the parent and the parents and the advisor, help the student develop goals, social and academic goals moving forward. And this certainly promotes taking responsibility as well as leadership skills. Leadership in our students is also cultivated through our seminar activities, through athletics, and other programs. I'd like to draw your attention to the picture in the upper left hand of this screen. This is our middle school a couple years ago climbing Mount Sherman on a fall Seminar 1 camping trip. And it was an incredible leadership opportunity, and it was really inspiring to see the kids helping and encourage one another to help each other reach their climbing goals. Another differentiator of our school is that we have an engaging experiential program. We really believe that although there is a place for traditional teaching methods in our classrooms, students must be actively engaged in their learning. And we believe that the best way that this is done is through project-based learning. And a great example of this is the sixth grade mystery unit. And in this, basically every year, we stage a crime in the middle school. And the students, the sixth graders, aren't aware at first that this has been staged. But a crime is staged, clues are left. In this particular one, Mr. Tucker's turtles were stolen, and you can see the crashed container that they were stored in. And the students then have to work in their English, math, and science classes to work through the clues to figure all this out. And they're pretty excited to do it, and they were really inspired to try to solve this crime because they cared about these animals, and they were putting up signs at first, for their safe return. But they worked through this interdisciplinary unit to perform chemical trace testing on the clues, to interview suspects, to perform mathematical calculations about some of the clues, to all identify the culprit, which every year it's a teacher, and the kids love that. But we even had a district judge, and a police officer come in to arrest the culprit and demonstrate and explain the legal process to the students. So there's a social studies component to this as well. And the students were really inspired throughout to learn and practice key skills as they discovered who had committed the crime. And they always love seeing the teacher that's accused end up in handcuffs at the end of this, at the hands of the judge and the police officer. And these kind of project-based learning experiences are done in the context of a very rigorous curriculum that challenges students and prepares them well with the skills that they're going to need in the upper school, in college, and most importantly in life. Some of these skills that we really emphasize are critical thinking, collaboration, the ability to communicate, creativity and developing ingenuity, and developing global awareness in the context of making ethical and responsible decisions. And so, for us, a rigorous pre-university curriculum in the context of experiential education that is designed to challenge every student is another differentiator of our program. And on this next slide, you can see a typical middle school course load. All students in each of the 3 grades have English, math, science, and history. They also have to take a foreign language, French or Spanish. We have a rich array of fine arts offerings. All 3 grades have foundations of language, the teaching of Greek and Latin roots. And there's a lot of research showing that this kind of education is really important for vocabulary acquisition, reading comprehension, as well as helping students really perform well on standardized tests like the ACT and the SAT. All new students and 6th graders also in the fall have a Get It Together course. This is a study skill, organizational skill, orientation that they get at the beginning of school, which is then later reinforced continually throughout the year, so the kids really own these study and organizational skills as the years progress. Another differentiator of our overall program is our college counseling program. And I know this is a middle school program, but it's oftentimes important to look at the end result of not just the work that's done in the children's school and the middle school, but also thinking ahead to the upper school. And Rusty Haynes, our college counselor, does amazing work with our students. And our students, the philosophy of our college counseling is not just to get kids into good schools, but to get kids into schools that are good for them. And our students, as you can see in this slide in the right-hand column, our kids are getting into top colleges and universities. But once again, the attempt is to match them with schools where they're going to be happy, where they're going to be successful and feel good about where they are, and that it's going to give them what they need for happy and productive lives. A CSS education in children's school, middle school, and upper school is certainly an investment as well towards college. And our students do quite well when it comes to merit scholarships. You can see in 2015 alone, over $4 million awarded to our graduates. And this is not financial aid. This is just merit aid that they're being given. Our students also do quite well on the advanced placement tests in high school. You can see the Colorado and global averages here and how we at CSS compare, and you can see we score significantly higher. Same thing for our ACT and our SAT scores compared. CSS compared to Colorado and national averages were well above them as well. Here at CSS, another thing that sets us apart are opportunities to discover a passion, to discover purpose. And a lot of this is done through exposure to a wide variety of different activities. And in the middle school, Students have opportunities to get involved with things like student government, lots of social activities like parties with music, game nights, movie sleepovers, things like this, roller skating. And the kids not only have a chance to engage in these activities, but also help run them as well and plan them. The chili cook-off, a big community builder in the spring, is one where the students are the ones who get everything set up and make all the arrangements for this. So once again, leadership training and an opportunity to do a variety of things. And you see lots of involvement in music and outdoor education, academic and athletic competitions as well. Our athletics at CSS, our teams do quite well, but our primary focus is that athletics it's really an avenue for character development. We don't do any cuts. We have competitive teams, and then we have developmental teams as well, and we believe that all students need to get a chance to play and be a part of a team. We believe this so much that we actually have an athletic requirement. Students need to be on a school team at least one season. And this gives them the chance to work as a member of a team, to deal with adversity, to learn how to win and lose and develop sportsmanship. And if a student wants to play a sport that we don't offer, oftentimes our students are able to then go and participate in that sport at a nearby school. You can see our offerings in the fall: boys and girls cross country, girls volleyball and boys soccer in the fall, winter boys and girls basketball, spring girls soccer and boys lacrosse. Our seminar program, as I previously mentioned, we have a Seminar 1 in the fall, which is all about community building. We go as an all middle school. We camp by grade level. Students are doing all the menu planning and shopping and cooking under the leadership of their advisors and doing the work in camp. So they learn to work together. They also participate in different activities that we have. Each year we go to a different site with different activities. So every year it's something different, and we do this 3-year rotation. But the students' activity groups are mixed grade level. So the fact that we do this right at the beginning of the school year, the students really get to know one another quite well. 6th graders feel very comfortable interacting with 7th and 8th graders after seminar because they have spent a lot of time with them. Next year, the fall of 2016, we're scheduled to climb Mount Sherman as a middle school on this 3-day trip. And we'll do a variety of other activities as well. Seminar 2 is a 4-day course in March, early March, and then Seminar 3 is an 8-day course in May. You can see a sampling of some of the offerings, and all of these courses fall into 5 categories: the arts, outdoor education, social and current issues, life skills, and the 5th one is I'm blanking on at the moment here. This is also STEM, of course. And all of these courses are run by 1 to 2 instructors with 10 to 13 students. And over the core seminar courses that middle school students take in their 3 years, they can't take more than 2 courses in any one area. So they're pushed to develop new passions and find out kind of what they're good at. While 6th and 7th graders are on Seminar 3, 8th graders are on Walkabout, and it is the crown jewel of our seminar and outdoor leadership and leadership program in general. It's a 12-day camping and rafting trip in southeast Utah around Arches and Canyonlands National Parks, and it's all about developing leadership journey. It's all about the pathways to adulthood. And the 8th graders that come back from this feel incredibly bonded to their classmates as well as their teachers. But it's also a transformative experience too, because they're really making most of the decisions on the trip and doing most of the work as well, but they're empowered to take a leadership role. And this often carries over to their homes and helps them transition into their upper school years. CSS is a one-of-a-kind school. We really embrace students for who they are and recognize that no two students are exactly the same. They have different strengths, different weaknesses, and we help develop those strengths and help them find their passions as they are on this journey of discovery to become who they want to be. And so thank you so much for tuning in to this screencast on Wednesday, January 13th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the terrace room of the Trianon. We will have a middle school, meet the middle school teacher night for children's school parents. And so you can come, you can meet the teachers, learn more about our program, ask questions, and we look forward to that opportunity. Have a good evening.